The Isaiah Factor Uncensored starts right now.
And welcome to The Factor Uncensored. It's a problem that has plagued the city of Houston this summer. More road rage violence, many of those run-ins resulting in death. We got a panel of experts together to discuss what is causing this and how we ourselves as drivers can be part of changing it. And our guests are here on The Factor Uncensored to talk about road rage and how did we get to this place here in this country. Dr. Patel, first let's begin with you. How does someone get so angry and so upset that they pull out a gun and shoot another driver? We know that happened early in July with 17-year-old David Castro. He and his father were leaving the Houston Astros game, and his father got into a confrontation with another driver. The driver followed them on the freeway, got off the freeway, pulled out his gun and shot and killed the 17-year-old. How do you get that angry and sustain that kind of anger in just driving?
Well, unfortunately, there is a lot of anger, impulsivity, and anxiety that can be present whenever there's a road rage situation. So, for example, a lot of times drivers with road rage do have anger even outside of the car or outside of the wheel. And that trait of impulsivity can kind of, take over and not really give them that time, to pause and to kind of, experience the situation for what it is. Another thing is there has been a lot of anxiety and anger, impulsivity that's kind of been hidden in this last year with the type of year we had with, 2020.
Yeah.
And so a lot more people are now experiencing others after a period of not experiencing interactions with others.
And Ro Farias, you are with Champions Driving School. How do you keep young people from becoming the next road rage aggressor or victim out there? Do you teach them about that in driving school, about just how dangerous the roads of Houston can be?
Yes, we do. It's actually part of our curriculum, and we deal with it on a daily basis. I mean, every single day. So it's not 1 out of 10 drive times, it's every single day. And we show them, mostly we approach it as a defensive driver, preparing them to read the road, look for trouble spots, look for maybe a possible altercation in the roadway, or look at the aggressive driver, the one that's switching in and out of lanes, maybe rolling stops, et cetera, or maybe having a confrontation like we see so often on the news and on the internet with other drivers, and to avoid them. We see that so often that it's part of our curriculum, and what we can do to not make eye contact, not engage them. If you feel like what you just talked about earlier, somebody followed them off the freeway, don't go home. Find a local police department, court station, fire department, anything that's open where there's more people, more eyes on you, to kind of get to safety. It's just it's something that we go over quite extensively here at Champions Driving School.
Former Assistant HPD Chief, Executive Chief Jimmy Dotson is here with us. Chief, what I try to avoid when driving a car is if there is an aggressive driver, I don't engage. I don't look at him. What other advice would you tell the driver out there to avoid the aggressor who is on the freeway or the streets of Houston or any city in America?
Well, I would first just let them know that let that person have the right of way. We don't own the freeway individually. We own it collectively as taxpayers. And if that person wants to cut in, let them cut in, even if they damage your car. It's always best to be able to report later on rather than get into confrontation. Because we're dealing with people today who devalue life. They devalue their own life, and they certainly devalue the life of others. And so an altercation over a parking spot or over someone trying to get in front of you is not worth you losing your life or the life of another. So from a law enforcement perspective, we would recommend that just let them have the right of way, let them have their parking spot, let them have that space that they're trying to get, and then live to report it for another day.
And Dr. Patel, just driving in a city the size of Houston, Los Angeles, New York, some of the other major metropolises around the country, you have people who are sitting in traffic in some instances for hours, and you become angry. So how do you control that anger as a driver when someone cut in front of you? How do you as an individual diffuse that?
It's a very good question. When it comes to situations that provoke certain emotions, such as anger, a good thing to do could be to practice ways to diffuse the anger. One thing we use is like meditation, which is a form of deep breathing and resetting the mind to the deep breaths. Other things could include calling a friend or a family member, listening to music you really like, and like the other guests have said, make sure we don't make eye contact and you don't escalate it. So what escalating means is, try to diffuse the anger, but without holding the horn or challenging the person who just cut you off.
And we want to remind you to stay safe on the roads and don't be an ass out there.